Happy Tax Day. April 15th is the best day of the year for Uncle Sam. Today we're talking about 10 different things you can do to help save on tax. Now, understand, secondly, this stuff is general. Your tax advisor should give you a tax plan that not just saves you for this year, but for the next couple, 10 years, and different schemes of how the IRS is set up so you can save or maximize your money without having to give it to Uncle Sam. That's the advice I would give you, is go talk to a tax advisor or a CPA or a team that can help you do that. And if you need somebody like that, let me know. I have quite a few people that can help you out with that. Okay. Let's get into it. My advice was start a business. Well, what kind of business? I don't know. You take your kids to school, start a kid taxi, taking your kids to and from school. And then you can bring in some friends, and you have a business there. You can start cookies. You can do, I don't know, an online business. You can do real estate. I don't know, whatever you want to do. There's 1,000 different ways, 10 million different things you can do to start a business. As long as you have a business, then you can have more deductions. I'm lucky because wherever I go, I have business meetings. And then I also look at real estate because I'm in real estate. So everything I do, I can write off because that's how the IRS code is set up. And I'm very conservative. I don't do things that are unethical, but you do have options and stuff that you can do for write-offs. Review your gift and estate plans. Go talk to your CPA, your financial advisor, and make sure you have these plans set up so that you can maximize your tax returns, your tax refunds. Consider your charitable giving. If you start a business and it becomes successful, then you should also have a charitable trust. Again, not advice. Talk to your tax person about it and why, the pluses and minuses, and if this is the right thing to do. Almost every millionaire, multi-millionaire has charitable trust because you can actually write off a lot of stuff that way. It just works out that way. They're designed for that. How many? 70,000 pages, and 2,000 of them are the laws, and the rest of them are telling you how you can take advantage of these certain write-offs. Consider offsetting investment gains with losses. I bought a house for my parents, and that's a loss for me every month. I did that on purpose. It's not actually a loss to me because I get the deductions. I get all the benefits from it, right? I get to write off all that because, well, it's a business, but also I get to do all these other things, but I also get to see it as a loss too. Max out on your retirement plan. Yes, of course, do that. Give your kids a leg up on their own retirement. Yes. If they go over that income, I told them that money should be sucked into your retirement account so it lowers your income. And then I can match that from my business. So there's a lot of different ways of making sure that that happens. Consider converting your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. Mine is in a 401k because I can use it to buy businesses and buy assets with it. So there's a lot of different things you need to be aware of what you're doing. Look for tax-aware investing strategies. If you're an accredited investor and you're looking for different strategies, you might take a lower return if you can take write-offs on that. So for example, RV parks are very hot right now, and mostly because you can take write-offs. You can deduct a lot of different things from that and still get a small return. So if you need losses, that's where you want to do stuff like that. And then, yeah, there's also another podcast that I do called Financial Intelligence, and I do that with my financial advisor. You can look at it on YouTube and get an idea of what we're talking about. There's a ton of different investing strategies that are out there, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is because I'm not a financial advisor. So go take that into account, right? As a matter of fact, this next one thing, is it still worth buying, or is it becoming the biggest money trap for real estate? And I can tell you right now, it's probably not a great opportunity for you to buy right now because housing is not affordable, right? So as Warren Buffett would say, I'm buying where it makes sense. I'm selling where it makes sense. And right now, buying where it does make sense is investing in real estate investment trust, a REIT, R-E-I-T, or if you're an accredited investor, there's other options for you, is mostly because it doesn't help us in case my kids decide not to go to college. They're all going to college right now. That was just an option that we had. And no matter what, you still have to pay taxes when you pull that money out. So decided not to do that and decided to take a different option to that. And if you want to learn what my options were, I'm happy to share that with you. Just have to tell me or ask me. Cover healthcare costs efficiently, right? HSAs allow you to take your money, put it into there, and you can pay your deductions there through. So again, this is not my advice. This is from Merrill Lynch, who's also not a tax advisor, but talk to your tax person. You should have 3 people helping you out with your finances: your tax, your financial advisor, your banker. You should have all these people working together, teaching you how to go into different options and figure out what the best strategy is for you at your income level and your wealth level. All right, is real estate still worth buying, or is it becoming the biggest money trap of this? I'm saying, into all, like I just did last week, I did a talk about the VA loan for veterans to students at San Jose State, for veterans who've come home after their active duty stint, and now they're getting their GI Bill and they're getting their degree. And we talk about what you can do now that you're going to become a civilian and a producing part of the community instead of part of the military. And buying a house is a good option, but if you're buying it as an investment, it's something you have to be very aware of. You have to be in a position to understand that if the market goes down, if the economy goes bad, if anything happens, you have to sit there and take the lumps until the economy recovers. It's like buying stocks. You don't sell your stocks when you're at a massive loss unless you need a loss. So it's like real estate right now is coming into the point where affordability is at an all-time high. It's so expensive for people to buy in most places that if they did buy, it would be a struggle for them to buy. And renting might be a better option. So right now, while the economy is great, and yesterday we talked about, is there a recession coming? I think we're already in a recession. But I can tell you that in recession, way up until 2008, every time there was a recession or a depression or what have you, home values went up. So just keep that in mind. If you're starting out and you don't have a way to buy a house without making it affordable, I would say rent or move to a place where you can afford it. What I'm doing right now is, if you have friends that you can trust or family that you can trust, is that you buy a house and you rent it to your friend, and your friend buys a house and they rent it to you. And now you're both landlords, and now you get to take major advantage of your house that you own, because you get to take all the deductions. You get to take all the write-offs, because now it's a business. Now you're a landlord. So is it still worth buying? Depends on what you want to do. I think Airbnb, and I've told you this 5 years ago, I think Airbnb is a big mistake right now, unless you're buying in an area that needs occupancy, needs empty rooms, right? Is it going to make you a ton of money? You have to do that research on your own. If you buy, only buy if you can afford a property comfortably and have plenty of money left over for maintenance that will come along. Absolutely. Over the years, I've spent $5,000 to $15,000 on my house almost every year, knowing that, but I'm doing it because I want it for my cost of living, my comfortableness. I did the floors, I did the windows, I put in air conditioning, I did the kitchen twice because there's lots of reasons. Did the bathrooms, I did it for me. I didn't do it to flip the house. I did it because I wanted to live in a comfortable house, a nice house. Maintenance and upgrades, and learn to do some simple maintenance. Absolutely. Buy tools, figure it out. YouTube's a great teacher. If you can't afford it or you just can't do it, call people, because there's handymen out there, and I have tons of handymen that'll do work for you. As an aside, water heaters are easy to replace. Water heaters are stupid expensive right now. You're looking at $600 to $1,000 just to buy it. And if you have a plumber do it for you, you're doubling that, because that's how they charge you. You're at $1,200 to $2,000 to replace a water heater. If you can find one on sale, I would say buy it and keep it in storage, because that's how it is. Most of the time, water heater itself doesn't need to be replaced, just the heating elements. Mention that this is right. Don't forget to mention still saving 15% of your income, so you don't have to work at 90, whatever. Regardless of what loan I've qualified for, that's true, guys. My friend's kid became a police officer, and we were having dinner with him. And I said, the first thing you need to do is go buy a house. And if you can't afford a house, buy a townhouse. If you can't afford a townhouse, buy a condo. Get into a house right now, because in 30 years, you're going to be buying a house every 1 to 2 years, and then turning that house that you lived in into a rental. And it just works out that way. And then you get your police retirement. On top of that, you own 10, 20 houses. And then you can rent them to people that you know, that you work with, or what have you. And yes, you live below your means. I'd say the rule of thumb is more important than ever. Keep your budget tight. And look, sometimes if you're getting into the market and you realize renting's smarter for you right now, yeah, absolutely. But you need to talk to a tax advisor. You need to talk to your financial advisor. You need to talk to everybody that's involved in your estate, your well-being for the next 20, 30 years as you be comfortable. Don't live. Put away now, and then go on vacations later, so that you can give your house to your kids. If your parents, my uncle just passed away at 93 a couple of weeks ago. I'm going up to Canada to do his memorial. And as sad as that is, he came from Austria, as well as my mom, from war-torn Europe, and made a life for himself. And he was a plumber, and he had a very hard life. He worked his ass off. He did everything he could. And they put his son to, private schools, parochial schools, had an education. And, I always laugh that my cousin, who's 6 weeks older than me, he had the brains and I had the face, right? My cousin, very smart, had an economy degree at 22 and very entrepreneurial, and he's very set for his life. And now he's helping his parents move on. And his dad just passed away. And the one thing I wanted to tell him was he was a good man, and he raised a good man. He showed you the way. He taught you how to do things, even though you didn't want to. My cousin knows how to build a house, and that's what he's doing right now because of his dad. I didn't really have that. I learned that from being in the trades and learning it the hard way. But once your parents start passing on, you have to have a plan, right? You have to have a big, huge, and you have to run your life like a business. So when it's time to pass it on and get your family to take on the house and you move into an older structured house, make sure you declutter, get rid of the stuff that you know that your kids won't want. So I'm telling you that because I know a lot of people that are getting into that situation right now, and it's my time of life where I'm dealing with that daily almost. Okay, when we market your house, you get the listing analytics, right? And this is my house that I'm selling, 22,000 views, 400 display views. This is retargeting, and this is the click-through, and then top of the search results within homes.com, and then Matterport, and then 9 floor plans. And this breaks it down everywhere and how many different platforms it showed the ad on, which is awesome. And then this right here, which is the heat map of where the buyers are coming from. And it's nice to see. I think it's really smart. So if you want to learn more, give me a call. And then this is bank-owned property of the week. Capella, still not on market, $1.6 million. I think this one's going to be tough to sell because it's at a premium price and it's in okay condition, but it's also really close to 87, the freeway. And if you look, not exactly backing up, but you can still hear freeway sound from it. And it's also right in the corridor of Communication Hill. So you're going to get planes flying through that area as well. This is a nice house. There's nothing wrong with this house at all. Let's take a look at it inside. It's pretty okay. I mean, it looks like it's been updated, but back in the early 2000s, late 90s, white appliances, pergo flooring, that kind of thing in a backyard. So if I bought this, it wouldn't be for 1.6. Just my thoughts. And then nothing crazy is going on here. We did get a couple more new bank-owned properties to look at. It's like these ones came back on market. It's like they were off market and they came back on market, but these are all condos. This is a house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and it's 100 years old. It's Santa Rosa. I think that one's a great buy. I bet you can get that one for like $3 or $4 million. And then you have one in East Palo Alto and one here in Redwood Shores, which is a condo. Seems like condos, funny, I think that's something that we need to do because if you look at these HOAs, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, let's take a quick look inside there, see how much it costs. $500,000 seems cheap, but then let's take a look at the HOA. $660 a month. $660 a month for a pool. That's ridiculous. That's why we need regulation, okay? Inventory is going up a little bit. There's